I think that the first thing that threw me out was the white gravy. Do you do it with the white gravy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Brown gravy creeps me out, man. I've had nightmares about it.
Brown as opposed to the white gravy.
Yeah, which let's not get this construed.
Yeah,
That's we can really
all gravies
the
are
wrong
creepy.
yeah. All gravy lives matter, please.
Yes. All
gravy lives matter, man. Hello, people of the world. We're back with another Sam Sessions here in the Acoustic A Room of South Austin Music. You got the world's worst interviewer here, and to my left, good friend of the shop, Kevin Mckeown. How you doing today?
He's terrible. No, this is the first time I'm getting to do this, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for coming, man. We've actually been really excited about this one. Not gonna lie, I had a little bit of nerves coming into it, but you seem like a great guy, so I'm excited.
I'm eager and stoked, and it seems like you're a seasoned veteran. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, certainly not, but I can fake it till I make it, right?
Well, yeah, that's what we're all doing. That's what we're all doing in life, really.
Do you really feel that way sometimes? Like you're just faking it till you make it?
It's funny you bringing this subject up right now because I was just in the bathroom. I was in y'all's bathroom.
Sorry about the mess.
I don't know how you call it. In Australia, they call it a dunny. And I only learned that because my kid loves a show called Bluey. It's based in Australia, and they call it dunny. Anyways, okay. I'm in there, and I'm going number one, if y'all need to know. And but you guys have all over the wall. You have posters and pictures of all these amazing artists. You've got Willie. You've got I see Buddy Holly. I see these massive icons. And I had that moment where I see all that, and then I think to myself, oh yeah, like these are the real, true heroes, the icons. And I always have that feeling in back of my head that I'm just kind of lucky to get to do what I do because I still look at those figures as like these massive, bigger than life people, right? So yeah, sometimes you wonder that somebody's going to find you out and say, hey, actually you're not that good.
Man,
you gotta get out. You gotta get out of the party. Yeah,
it's crazy though, because truthfully, there are people that look up to you in that same way that you're talking about those guys in there.
I don't know, but if they do, that's like the most humbling thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Just everyday gratitude to get to do this, and this shop too is like this hub that I love coming into and being able to talk music, and it's the friendliest place.
Thank you.
And you guys really take the time to take care of musicians, so I love it.
Absolutely. I know it's pretty much the biggest thing we focus on and try to do for sure.
Yeah.
How long have you been coming into the shop, would you say?
Oh, since '83, I think.
Okay, so that's even before it was South Austin Music.
Yeah, it was actually before I was born. But I think, man, so I moved down here probably in 2010.
Okay.
2009. Mm-hmm. So it was probably right around 2011, when I started sussing out all of the good spots to bring your gear and who had the best, kind of selection of vintage stuff or pedals. And this was always like, I think I only went to like 2 places in town, and this was like, yeah, this is my hub. This is my home.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
So.
Awesome. I'm always curious. You're a musician who's reached a certain amount of success for sure. Have you ever had to get the day job to make ends meet, or is it always kind of worked out for you?
Thankfully and luckily, probably in the last probably the last decade or almost decade, I haven't had to do anything other than play music. So again, extremely gratitude, that I get to do that. But right before things started picking up, me and my bandmate, Eric Owen, who we were living in Austin, and we were living in a small little apartment garage. I was sleeping on the floor, and it was 1 bedroom. We were surviving on potatoes and eggs. We would go and buy a big bag of potatoes and then a bunch of eggs, and then we would just eat potato and eggs all week long. And then we might have a little bit of money left over if we wanted to get case of beer or something, a 6-pack. But other than that, and then so how we got by was delivering pizza flyers for Papa John's.
Oh, no kidding.
And we would go out and spend hours in the morning time. We had to get up at the crack of dawn because in the summertime, we all know what happens right around 11 or 10 o'clock in the morning. That inferno hits the sky, and But we were delivering for Papa John's for many for many years just to get by.
Right.
Because we were Canadian and we couldn't officially work here. So we had to do that.
Working a job like that, did you ever have a moment where you're like, okay, this music stuff has to work out, or I'm just, like, I don't know what I'm going to do?
You know what? I don't think I ever had a moment where I was like, oh man, we got to get something going. I think we were so, we were just elated being down here, like moving from Canada down to Austin, Texas, this music mecca. We were like, oh dang, like we're here and we're actually doing it. And
yeah, you talk a lot about how you moved down here from Canada, and I know that you met your drummer Eric Owen when you were in Canada. Were you guys really in kindergarten when you first met?
Yeah, we became friends in kindergarten, and I don't remember it as clearly as he does, but he recalls that as a story that we met in the little boys' room, and he was again going number one, if y'all need to know, and I had made my way underneath the stall, but just my head to look up at him and say something humorous and point and laugh. And he says from then on we became fast mates.
That's really, really insane. I always think about it. It's like having a friend for that long, but not only just a friend, but someone you're playing music with all the time.
Oh yeah. Well, playing music when everyone knows that when you're in a band or you're touring with people, you develop a bond that's insanely close, and so when you pile that in with having a 25-year friendship, and then doing what you love to do and spending all this time working towards doing what we love to do, it's we became extremely close.
What are some of the challenges you guys had? I mean there's got to be at least like one girl y'all were in competition over or something like that,
Well, never a girl. I don't think we were at no, I mean I feel like we struggle with like we're like an old married couple,
Right.
Like now we know each other better than we ever have, and then we just kind of I don't know how to explain it. It feels like a married couple. Like you bicker, but then you also concede and work together, and and I think that's the key. Is like when you're in a band we've been playing music for so long. I didn't realize until you get to a certain point that how hard it is actually to keep a band going, keeping the momentum going, because it takes a lot of work and to keep that train rolling. But luckily, I don't know if that's a nice one. You guys gotta change the price tags just a little bit.
Right, knock it down a few.
Some of the stuff in here is bonkers.
I agree with that. I agree with that for sure.
But anyway, well, the truth is the band no longer exists. We broke up, so you guys heard it here first. It didn't work out. No, that's not true.
Holy shit!
Oh man!
I was like in all my research, I did not see that, man.
Yeah. You were prying, and you finally got out. The band doesn't exist.
It's funny because I thought you might be messing with us, and I went and looked at Scott, and Scott was just. And I was like, oh my god.
The first time, that was so convincing.
Yeah, right?
Well, yeah.
That's awesome. But, to be serious, like, I mean, you have to be an extremely loyal friend. And of course, him too, but you guys have to be really loyal to each other for the friendship to last that long. Where do you think being such a loyal friend for you comes from?
Well, again, we've been such close friends since we were younger. And I think it's like when we officially started going down this journey to become... make music be our full-time, profession. That was always the goal. It wasn't about like, oh, let's try to, make a record that gets played on the radio or try to, play with this band. It was more like, hey, if we can just, make a living doing what we love to do, that is the definition of success. Mm-hmm. And I think when you both have that same vision and you enjoy what you're doing so much, nothing feels like work. Nothing feels like it's hard, even though we went through some really hard times of like trying to cut a slice of pizza in half. And you get this half, and I get this half. That should hold us over until tomorrow afternoon.
It's interesting because really the dream isn't massive like success money-wise, but just to be able to play music for a living.
Yeah.
That's the way both of you guys have really always felt?
I think so. At least from my perspective, that was the main goal. Getting moving to Austin was like just make a living and be able to play music and be able to play shows every other night and get by. Then that was enough.
And then the money kind of comes with that, right?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, we definitely put in many hours of playing shows to absolutely nobody. Just everyone knows that feeling. Playing shows to the bartender. We played on the back of a flatbed truck in an alley next to a rotting dumpster. We played terrible shows. And the funny thing is that the contrast from playing these awful shows, you look back in hindsight, you're like, they weren't that awful. They were actually kind of fun. And they were kind of where you cut your teeth on like how to, and nobody would pay attention to us when you're playing in a bar of 5 people in the bar. So we would try to do things to get their attention. And, we wouldn't have more than 5 songs for the set list. So we had to cover an hour. So we would jam and improvise. And that's kind of still a staple of what we put in our shows now.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that you said before you do a lot of improvising on stage. And I was curious, kind of to put it simply, your feet barely touch the ground when you're on stage playing. You're a wildly energetic presence up there.
I don't really know what's happening on stage. It's just kind of that's the lucky thing, man. If you can still be moved enough to play the music and want to move with it, I hope that never stops. I might look like a maniac or really strange up there, but it's I'm enjoying.
Yeah, I mean you have to, right?
Yeah,
and plus maniacs are the ones that kill it anyway.
Well, they kill something. Or someone. Yeah. Someone. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I feel like when the day comes when you're on stage and you're just kind of going through the motions, it's like, okay, maybe that's a time to be like, all right, this is not
time to retire.
Yeah. And I hope that day doesn't
come. I know that you had breakout success with your song Lost Cause.
Yes.
Hit the #1 spot.
And I'm so glad you brought this out because this shot plays such a huge role in that song.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I genuinely was not aware of that. How's that?
Well, your dad, your old man, I remember we were down at Arlen Studios and we were recording the track and we had just finished the bed track. So we had gotten the bass. No bass. There's no bass in the band. There's no bass. The guitar, drums, and whatever kind of extra overdub guitar solos. And we got it and I was starting to sing, but it needed something in the chorus. It needed something like a little kind of high-end lift-off. And I've been thinking about it, and I was like, I think it needs something that in a certain frequency, and for some reason I thought of a sitar, like a baby sitar, to give it a little that resonating twang a bit. And I knew that y'all had one here. And so I said, I wonder if I could go and see if they'll let me use it for just an hour or two until we track this. And so I drove all the way up here in the engineer / co-producer Jacob Skiba's green Ford. I don't even know what year it was. Maybe it was like a 68 or 72 Ford pickup. And you had to start the car with a screwdriver. He gave me jabbed that thing in there. And then the whole time I'm driving saying this is not going to end well. But I got it. I rolled. Didn't drive. I think I rolled out, slowly rolled into the parking lot. And I came in and I asked Bill, your old man, I said, can I borrow this baby sitar that y'all, it was a Dan Electro baby sitar. And he's like, yeah, for sure, go ahead. And I said, I'll bring it right back. I'll bring it back in a couple hours. And I remember the last thing I said to him before I walked out the door was, don't worry, Bill. And in a very, joking way, I said, don't worry, Bill. This is going to be a #1 hit song. And he was like, okay, all right. Yeah. And it went #1 in Canada on the rock charts, and it turned out to be the #1 rock song for the year in Canada. So it was the best feeling in the world to be able to come back here and tell you that. Because I was like, I didn't think so.
I wasn't lying. I knew it.
No.
The universe told me.
That's what I think. That's what I think. So,
man, that's wild. What is there a possible way to describe the feeling of having that #1 song?
No, man, it just felt like validation for how many hours and years me and Eric had put into just because we didn't even think anything. We were just let's try to see if it does anything at radio, and we were just whoa. and it meant so much more to us because that was Canada's our home, right? Like our first home.
Yeah.
And it was funny because while we were, starting to get a lot of momentum down here in the States, we would go back and play shows in Canada and nobody really knew who we were. We're like, well, this is where we're from. So getting that kind of recognition from your hometown and your native land was huge for us. Because then we went back and our family and our friends all were able to hear it on the radio. And Canada, it was one of the best feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can be kind of uncultured or ignorant in a way. Was there anything that was like a big shock coming from Canada to the U.S., like maybe something that was hard to get used to, or?
Well, obviously, the summers are always a little tricky, but even people that are from here still have a tough time acclimating, and so I've been told.
Yeah.
But I think that when you're out there in the blistering sun, delivering Papa John's pizza flyers and it's 102 degrees, you start to second guess.
Yeah.
Whether this place was the right place. But the funny thing is that Austin always works out. Like, we used to say that to each other all the time. Being in Austin, somehow things always work out. Even when you're like down on your luck and you have nothing going your way, they have a way of shifting. And I think that's the magic of the city. That something always pops up around the corner, an opportunity, a person that wants to jam, or I don't know. I love the community, man.
Absolutely. I saw that you described your sound as like Southern fried rock and roll.
Yeah, I don't know who said that, by the way. I think somebody.
I think you did.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, it's either you or Eric.
Maybe one of us. Listen, there's a lot of backlog of stuff that me and Eric in our early days do.
So how would you describe it now?
No, Southern fried.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
What's your favorite Southern fried food?
Oh, I would have to say, I did try chicken fried steak one time.
One time, that's it?
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it, but I also thought that this is a slippery slope because I know this could be the thing. You get a little taste, and now you're hooked.
Yeah.
And then
next thing you know, it's a gateway drug.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And how about you? Do you have a
favorite fried food?
Yeah.
A chicken fried steak. That's I was almost like a little offended. I was like, man, do I need to dial back the chicken fried steak?
Well, I think that the first thing that threw me out was the white gravy. Do you do it with the white gravy?
Oh yeah. Brown gravy creeps me out, man. I've had nightmares about it.
Brown as opposed to the white gravy.
Yeah, let's not get this construed.
Yeah,
we can really
all
go
gravies
to the
are
wrong
Christian.
place. Yeah. All gravy lives matter, please.
Yes, all
gravy lives matter, man.
Shit.
No, the white gravy. Yeah, the white gravy always kind of freaked me out.
Okay.
Just the consistency.
So in Canada, is it all brown gravy, or is there no gravy? Is that
there
just
is gravy.
Us thing?
We actually put gravy on our French fries. We put cheese curds and gravy on our fries. We refer to that as poutine or poutine.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's really good.
That sounds nice.
So we're big fans of gravy.
Absolutely. I've always wanted to know, with just you and Eric, Eric's on the drums. I've even seen him kind of go over and do like a bass synth before, why he's still playing drums, which completely blows my mind. And you being the lead vocalist and guitarist, is there a reason you've always kept it just you two and not wanted to expand into, a 3-piece, 4-piece?
Well, I think we've always, even when we used to play in bands when we were younger, where we had a bass player or another guitar player. But at the end of the day, we would always kind of end up just kind of jamming with ourselves. And, so it always kind of seemed like as long as we could lock in on something, then, then you could show the other person or whatever. But then we just kind of realized, I think it was at a party one day, we were playing at a friend's party, and the guy who was playing bass, just his amp totally just shit the bed. And it stopped working, and me and Eric were like, okay, think fast, quick, start playing. And we just started jamming, and everyone was like, oh, that was really, really cool what y'all did. And that was the first time we were like, oh, maybe we could just do that,
How much of the chemistry of just you and Eric being really good friends, how much of that shows, do you think, on stage and through your music?
I think it's a big part because we knowing each other so well. And I think a lot of people sometimes think of chemistry as this thing that like just you naturally have. And I think sometimes you do have that with certain people, you have a chemistry. And other times, if you develop a chemistry. And I think for us, we, we're so close growing up. And also when we started playing music, you play music for such a long time, you start to get I feel for the other person's kind of intuition. Oh, they like to do this, or the way they attack their instruments. And I think that we got to know each other really, really well in that respect. And so it when it came time to like improvise, say in the live setting on stage, we felt very comfortable with that because we felt like we didn't have to worry about a bass player or a keyboard player keeping up with like, oh, where are you guys going? And we could just lock into each other and go anywhere. We could go from lo-fi garage punk into a hip hop beat into some kind of a soul thing and not have to like worry about everybody else trying to keep up. And that's something we never took for granted. We're like, that's pretty cool that you have that kind of freedom. It comes with its own limitations when you're in a two-piece band, guitar, drum, because there's only so much you can do. But the freedom aspect of it is still the most like enticing thing that keeps us coming back.
I would imagine to say it's pretty, it's hard to say that with the band Black Pistol Fire that a lot of y'all's chemistries, led to the success that y'all have seen.
Yeah. I think that we both just kind of, I feel like we both have each other's back on stage when it comes to like where we want to go, and if some person needs to like kind of pull the weight on this side or this way, I think it's just there's a trust there, and and I think we just still enjoy playing music, and I think that's like half of like the ingredient there. It's like you just totally love what you do, then I think that in some capacity you're gonna be fine. Yeah.
So we're talking about how you're a loyal friend. I also know you have a pretty good taste in scotch, and the reason I know that is because you're generous enough to bring us libations around Christmas time every year.
You're right. I do bring libations. I do bring many libations.
Where does the generosity come from?
Well, I think it just comes from wanting to induce a state of euphoria with you guys, so that I'm able to.
You gotta get Bill drunk so that
bargain on pricing when the inebriation sets in, and it's easier to communicate. No, I always appreciate everything that y'all do for not only me but all the musicians in town. I can't say enough good things about this place. So
it's always a two-way street. It's always a two-way street. It definitely goes both ways. And I was also, through the research, I was seeing that you guys seem to kind of be writing, recording, or playing shows almost non-stop.
Yeah.
And it's rare for me to kind of see a musician who really just seems like a workaholic.
Yeah.
Where do you think like the drive to always be working?
I think it's just, again, back to that thing where we do, like, I think that when we go out on the road and we tour, that's like one side of takes a toll. Like, you love doing it, but it's also like, can't be out on the road for months and months at a time without having like, those need for breathers. And then for me, I just love writing, right? Writing is like just something I cannot not, pick up a guitar every day and try to like come up with something. And it's a little hard to do that on the road. So whenever we're not on the road, I try to take advantage of that and just go all out. And then, and it's always that cycle, right? So once you get off the road, like you write a few songs, go back on the road, write a few more songs. The next thing you know, you got enough material for another album that you want to keep that. And I think in today's music industry, in today's state of music, like I think people are, the need or the want of the craving for content is like higher than ever. So it's like I think it's just trying to keep up pace with whatever's next. But I just love writing and recording equally as much as touring.
Right. When you do find yourself needing a breather, what are some of the things you do to relax?
Definitely like hiking. Me and my family, we'll go, up to Enchanted Rock. Enchanted Rock's one of my favorite places. It's this healing place I love. What's the other thing I like to do? I like to taxidermy is another small hobby.
Taxidermy. That's like doing taxes, right?
It's with dead animals. it's yeah, you have to be very careful about who you're working with. But yes, no, I don't. Taxidermy was one of those like side hobbies that I was like, oh, I wonder if that would be interesting. And
so that's where you're like.
No, I'm not. I'm not into taxidermy. I'm just saying that it may be fun.
One day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that whole maniac thing.
I just into like killing the animal first.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to have anything to do with hurting an animal. I just the idea of a stuffed animal, seems creepy.
Yeah.
And interesting on how it's constructed. Actually, maybe we should cut that out. I don't want to be a taxidermist.
The wall of sanity for you, I can see. We might break it here in this Sam session.
Well, have you ever had a love for a pet, like a dog, a cat? So, if somebody said, "Oh, when your dog passes, we'll stuff them, and then you can remember them every day. You can see them." Is that the weirdest thing in the world? Because I do know some people have done that, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't see the appeal.
Could you imagine if we did that with Shy and like kept it here at the store?
That's okay.
Breaks him down.
That brings me down, man. No, thank you.
Okay. Shy is the shop dog. She hangs out here all the time.
I know. Yeah.
She's the sweetest girl ever. But
sorry to put that image in your head.
Just stuffed animals. I'll dream about it later. It's fine. It's fine.
But other hobbies, man. Just I feel like. Like anything outdoors is like the number one things. Going for little swims with my little guy in Lake Austin and stuff like that, and going camping, stuff like that.
Do you ever go write a song outside, or is it inside?
Yeah, both, man. I think it's whenever it hits you, and that's the thing that I'm trying to acclimate to now. Is that now I've got a little one, my little guy's like 3 years old. And sometimes when inspiration hits, you can't always tend to it. So you got to leave it for later. And sometimes it's not there later, when you come back to it. So I'm just, learning to be like, hey, whenever it comes, and if you got time, then go get to it. But
of course.
Yeah, man.
As a musician who does a lot of touring, what would you say is one of the most important things to you to keep that going?
Boundaries, man. I think Eric and I both learned how to put up boundaries of because if you don't say anything, agents or management, they'll send you out and be on like a year-long tour without any breaks. And then 9 times out of 10, if you do that, that's the demise of the band, Mm-hmm. So we learned how to put up boundaries and say, no, we're only going to go out in 3 to 4 week increments, and then we need to come back, recharge, stuff like that.
Yeah, awesome. Is that the first piece of advice you'd give to a young musician?
Well, but I think a lot of younger musicians that are coming up now are eager to get out there and tour, and half of the fun is going out on the road for months and months, sleeping on floors, sleeping in the car. Mm-hmm. That's also a huge part of the experience of touring that I think is amazing when but I think when you get older, we're getting a little older, I don't want to go back to sleeping on floors on tour and stuff like that, but I think you got to know when to rear things back, just for mental health purposes, because otherwise, sometimes on the road, you've heard probably a million times, sometimes it can feel like Groundhog Day, saying what city are we in, that kind of thing. And
have you ever had that moment where you wake up and you're like, wait, where am I again?
Yeah, oh yeah. Luckily, I've never had the on-stage mix-up where I say the wrong city's name. I've never had that, but sometimes it just feels like a fog, and then you just need to recharge. You just need to get your batteries changed and come and go back out for the next leg. But yeah.
Well, I'm a huge fan of you, man, and a couple of of course. Thank you for playing the music you play. It kicks ass for sure. Thanks, Some of my favorite songs, probably the top one would be "Watch It Burn."
Oh, you like that one?
Yo, I love it. And getting the opportunity to interview you, I had to ask: is there a "Gotta Love Austin"? I think he's a big fan too. Is that what that was?
Yeah, it was. I get recognized around here. Fucking ass. That's funny you say that song because that's not what most people kind of associate our band with. That sound. Right. That's
Right.
more of like.
And I love, Speak
Yeah.
of the Devil, I think, is like one of the main staples where it's that heavy rock. I love that stuff too. But yeah, Watch It Burn is one of the ones that stuck with me. And I was
Cool.
curious if there might be like some kind of story or like if you remember the writing process that went behind that one.
Yeah, I think I had gone to Fish Street Studios, which is another amazing studio in town, and it's got this beautiful tape machine and a Neve board. But I just went in with by myself with my good buddy and kind of producer Nick Joswick, who works there and has done a lot of work with Blackest Fire on a lot of records. But I usually like to go in and demo stuff out with him first, if in a stripped down way, and then if it works for Blackest Fire, then we'll record it as a band.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember went in with this acoustic thing, and it just kind of, when I was kind of messing around with it at home, it was just this haunting kind of like low key acoustic, song idea that I didn't know if it was going to be something that would work well with the band. But I went in and we recorded it, and we added like some kind of Juno synths that made it sound a little dark and 80s, and it just in the back. But yeah, I mean, lyrically, sometimes I don't try to think too much about it. It's funny because I think about it later, and I go, maybe a couple years later, I'll think about a song, or somebody will ask me about a song, and I'll go, oh, I guess I was talking about, my struggles with, the downfall of communism, and or something. It resonates with me in a different way, and when I look back on it. But I appreciate you digging that song, because like I'm always wanting to put more of that stuff on the records, but I always think that people are like, just give us the loud fuzz and just hit us over the head all the time. So I like to sneak them in. Yeah. So people are like, all right, that's okay.
So that's the way you do it, because it's also, you see artists do it somewhat often where they have like the sound that's specific to them, and then they may try and completely break out of that and do something new. And a lot of times fans won't, their fans won't really love it. So your way of doing it is kind of like give people what they want and sneak a couple in there.
Yeah, and I think that's what we love so much about the people that are our fans of the band, is that they come along for the ride with us. Like, if we decide to do, dabble in different genres, we always go to the show, and people always appreciate that stuff. But I think that was the goal in the beginning. For the first 5 records was like, this is what people know are what the band's known for, and the type of people that are coming out to the shows was the loud, energetic, raw, fuzz, garage. And so to be able to sneak in like a little acoustic number or something, a little country or something, was always it felt sneaky. It's like, yeah, and then just see how that does. And then at the show, somebody would come up, I will play that song or whatever. And then we started throwing a little bit more of the acoustics, or the more of the how you say the sexy songs, the ones that have a good backbeat, the ones that move. We started just noticing, there seems to be a louder response from the females in the audience. So we're like, let's throw a few more of those on the records, So because we wanted the crowds to feel more like, not like just dudes ready to throw fists and stuff like that, which is great too, man. When a mosh pit breaks out, it's the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, the energy just takes off in the room, and then your energy takes off.
Of course. Yeah. I was gonna ask, what's like? Do you have any idea how many fights you've seen being on stage in the crowd?
I've only saw one fight.
Okay.
And it was 2 girls.
Okay.
It was 2 girls. I think we knew one of them, but it was a small little club in New York called the Mercury Lounge, and like a lot of legendary shows, like the White Stripes, Yeahs, all like came up cutting their teeth in that club, playing those shows. But it's only about 200 cap room, but I remember seeing, I think it was in the middle of like some improvised jam. These 2 girls were just going at it, grabbing each other's hair. And part of me was like, okay, I don't know what to do right now. But, man, this is why Eric's good, because he remembers every little detail. And he'd be like, it was on the other side. And, we stopped up. But I can't remember.
One was a blonde, was a brunette.
Yeah, one was a blonde. But yeah, I remember seeing that, and it just totally like blew my mind. I was like, whoa, why is this happening? But luckily somebody, I think, broke it up, or we had said something and it stopped. But afterwards we met them, and they were like the nicest girls ever. I think it came down to like a territorial like position of like how close they were to the stage or something. That's the only time I ever saw a fight. So.
They were friends, the ones that were fighting each other?
No, they didn't know each other. One of them was our friend, but they were like trying to get a little close. It was a jam packed small club, and it was really hot and musty in there. And
recipe for success.
Yeah. So and I think that was right when like the crowd was starting to swell and a lot of like bodies with mosh pit and stuff was happening, and those girls just said, you know what, let's do this. And luckily it didn't get out of hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite album?
Of all time?
Mm-hmm. Of yours, and then we'll do all time.
You ask everybody this?
No. Like out of the ones you've released, do you have a favorite?
Oh, okay. So of ours, I would probably say this last record is in this moment probably the one I'm most proud of because it took so many different it's a bunch of different.
Deadbeat Graffiti, right?
The last one was Look Alive that came out last year.
Okay, gotcha.
And it was like a long process. I think it was the longest we ever took to make a record, and we worked with like so many different producers and not so many. I shouldn't say so many. Like 3 or 4 different people, and it was done in a little bit in Nashville, a little bit in here at this studio, another studio. It just felt like all these little tiny time periods all coming together into one album, and first time ever I feel like an album told a story. For me, it wasn't just kind of like these are the songs and they all kind of just need to go on an album. So I'd probably say that's probably my favorite album at the moment. Yeah.
And you said that was released last year?
Last year, yeah.
And it took one of the longest it has. Do you think COVID had anything to do with that?
Yeah. It was done, and we were going to release it in 2020, but we had to hold off pretty much a whole year to do it. So that made it tough for a lot of artists to release music.
And gig and get noticed.
Everything, yeah. So it kind of feels like the smoke's settling a bit right now. I don't know.
I would think so.
Pay attention to the news. This is bad, right? It's bad, still bad, still bad.
I think it depends on who you ask at this point.
Okay.
But, we're having fun either way.
What's that? Okay. Same here, man. Yeah. I'm just trying to, just keep my head buried in the sand and do what I love to do and, hang out with the people I love to do.
Absolutely. Do you have a favorite guitar?
I do. It's my Epiphone Casino that is in seafoam green, and it was from the Peerless Factory, and I had found it on Craigslist in the year 2012 from a man in Kentucky named Barnacle Bill. It took me forever to track down this guitar because that color was so rare, but it got shipped to me from Kentucky, and that was probably my favorite guitar. Still is my favorite guitar. The neck, the action on it, it's so light. Have you ever played Casino? They're super light. Yeah. Why are they so light, Scott?
Just semi-hollow.
Semi-hollow.
Probably also like the wood they used.
The wood.
Probably really like a lot thinner. Top and backs. I have a Sheridan that's heavy as hell.
I know, same too. Yeah.
But I think the Casino is probably just they make them a little bit smaller, a little thinner.
Yeah. That's what I always was drawn to was the weight of the wood, and then slapping in those P90s. It made your fuzz pedal just sound huge. Still my favorite guitar.
Was Fuzz Pedal your favorite? That?
Well, I always used a big muff starting out, the electronics big muff, and then I kind of dabble in all these other things. Right now I'm kind of using one of those Walrus, the Walrus audio, it's got a little spaceman on it. It's a red one.
Oh, I know that one.
Oh, no, hold on a second. The Walrus with the spaceman on it?
It's got, Walrus is what?
The Jupiter?
The Jupiter fuzz. It's got really rad artwork on it. Yeah, so I've been using that as kind of like my main fuzz, and then my other favorite fuzz is the Electro Harmonics Cockfight. Cockfight. Because I think Scott will appreciate it. It's got a little bit of that Queensy thing where it's got a little fill. You can roll back the frequency and the tone, and it gets this kind of weird, nasally kind of Queens of
Interesting.
Stone Age thing. I love that pedal because when you pair that with another drum, I don't know. Are we supposed to be talking about gear? Do you want me to talk about
We can talk.
Oh,
My
yeah.
next question actually is, with pedals, it's such a deep rabbit hole that you can go down, and there's so much to you like. It seems like when you're first getting into it, you just learn how much you don't know before you start learning what you do know.
Yeah.
How did you start getting into different pedals and figuring it all out?
Well, I was never like a big gear head. Like, and a lot of times people would ask me at shows and say like, "Oh, what kind of speakers are in your amps?" And I'd be like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Oh, what kind of pickups are in that?" Oh, I don't know. and I, and I'm still kind of that way. I'm not really huge into gear, but with pedals, fuzz pedals are the things that I can go down that wormhole and I just get lost, and then it becomes like I've lost a week of my life. But I've learned to reel it back because now I know kind of what I'm looking for. But my friend in town, another badass musician, if you ever get a chance, just bring her in, Emily Wolf. She used to help me a lot, and she still does help me a lot with like telling me what's a great pedal to use and pairing pedals and how to dial in a certain thing with a pedal that she's messed with, and so
They're coming at you today, man. They're on your ass.
Yes, just hold phone.
We're almost done with them, guys. Relax.
Please, no pictures. Yeah, Emily. Yeah, she's a great friend, and she also got me really. You brought my knowledge from like here to here with pedal stuff. Also, when I would come into the store a lot, I would ask a lot of the staff. Scott.
Yeah. And that'd be Scott Blanco.
Yes. So I've also gotten an insane amount of recommendations from this place right here.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, at this point, I'll just kind of ask you some quick, fast-paced questions, and you just give me the first answer that comes to mind. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Just trying to make sure. Martin or Gibson?
I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear what you said. Did you say Mardi Gras? What did you say?
Yeah. Mardi Gras or Cinco de Mayo?
Oh, Mardi Gras.
Okay. Martin or Gibson?
Gibson.
Okay.
I have to say that.
Oh, right. Gibson artist.
I'm a Gibson artist, but I love Gibson.
Yeah, you gotta keep them pleased too. Oh, the whole nine. Something vintage or brand new?
Vintage. Always.
Okay. Fuzz pedal or overdrive?
Fuzz.
Okay. Truck or car?
Truck. I would love, truck.
Apartment or house?
House.
Okay. Cat or dog?
I don't know. You might be able to hear my Canadian come out there. House.
House.
Yeah, I'll say house. I'll say
House. Yeah, I was surprised. I haven't,
I've worked really hard to kind of bury that.
Mask it down?
Yeah.
Do you ever hear it coming out whenever you're doing your, singing?
No. I hear it when I talk to, friends and family at home. Like, oh, man, it's very unattractive accent. The Canadian, especially where we're from, Ontario, it's like, oh, you're barking up the wrong tree, bud. It's like, oh, is that what we sound like? Yeah, I've tried to bury it. But
What's your favorite accent?
Oh, I mean, I really enjoy New Zealand accent,
Okay.
or South African, because
Yeah.
have you ever heard somebody try to imitate that? It's like, good luck.
I would
You
never
sound
try.
Cool. What's that?
I said I would never even
No,
try.
yeah, I don't think we should.
Mine's Australian.
Right?
Yeah. I think it might come from...
My dad's from Belfast, Ireland, and he still has an accent, after God knows how many years, but he's lived in Canada, but I still love that accent too, the Belfast accent. It's really cool. Northern Ireland.
Yeah, okay. Playing a venue, small venue or big venue?
Depends, man. If the small venue is jam-packed, small.
Okay. Austin or Nashville?
Next question. you know. Austin, definitely Austin.
Gotta be. Why would you say that is?
I've actually got to spend some time in Nashville recently, and I think it's a beautiful city, and I really like it. But there, like I said before, man, there's something about the community in this city and this magical fairy dust that blows through us, and where things seem to work out, always seem to work out. And I don't know what that is yet, and I don't want to know what it is.
Leave it to somebody else. Figure it out. Let's see. Telly or Strat? Whether you play them all the time or not, Telly or
Telly.
Strat? Telly?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. PV or Fender?
PV.
Interesting.
Well, no, amp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely Fender, but there is one PV that everybody's after lately.
Which one?
The one that so there was a documentary, Mark Ronson, and he was interviewing Josh Homme, and Josh Homme let the cat out of the bag of what the secret sound is.
Yeah, I forgot what PV was.
It's a little practice PV amp. I can't remember the name of it, and now they're all sold out, and they're going for like $5,000 on
Are
eBay.
you serious?
Everyone's
Wow.
trying to buy them now.
Oh,
I
jeez.
can't remember what the name of the amp is. You know what it is?
I don't remember what it is. I know I have a Century 400, which I think is that era, but it's a bass head. It's a 100-watt bass head that I use.
Well, this is a little like. Is it a little?
No. It's a head. So it's
Oh.
But that's what I use to kind of mimic that because I think that's a similar era. As what I know what you're talking about. I don't know what the amp.
So you know St. Vincent?
Mm-hmm.
St. Vincent has a guitar guru pedal guy
Yeah.
that is modeling a pedal after that amp because she saw that in the interview and she's like, I'm gonna get my guy to,
Whoa.
make a pedal that sounds like that amp.
Dang. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Right? Anyways, that was a long answer.
You fucking
that
gearheads.
was a long. That was a long answer.
You guys might as well have been speaking Spanish to me.
I know.
Just now. Let's see. Tacos or pizza?
Tacos.
Good choice. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Mountains?
Mountains.
Okay. There we go.
Mountains.
There we go.
Yeah.
If you're playing acoustic, parlor size or dreadnought?
Parlor. Parlor. Yeah. Well, it's not a race, right? I should answer this quick or no?
No, you can answer
Parlor.
fast. I mean, it is the first thing that comes to mind, right?
Okay.
So I can see that your mind works pretty fast here.
Not always, but yeah, these are good questions though that I have the answers ready.
Okay, you're getting dressed in the morning. Are you dressing for style or comfort?
Comfort.
Why is that?
It also depends on where I'm going.
Okay.
If I'm just hanging around and playing my guitar all day, it's probably going to be jogging pants, kind of, loose fit jogging pants.
There you go. I think that covers pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Man, Kevin, it was an honor having you on. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on. Seriously,
Thank you for having me, and this was a lot. And he's great.
He's
You're
awesome.
great.
Thank you. Hey, thank
Natural.
you. I appreciate that. I think there's one more thing to do if we can steal you time
Let's
for a
do it.
little bit more.
Yeah.
Have you play a quick song for us.
Oh, really?
If you came prepared for it. You just noodle or whatever you want to do.
Okay. What did Shaky Grapes do?
Play a little finger picking tune.
Yeah.
What was it?
I don't know. This was one of his own, I think.
Yeah, I hadn't heard it.
Arrogant prick. No.
Can we keep that?
Yeah, I want to keep that.
You want to? But I want you to also let it be known I adore Ali, and I think he's an extremely talented guy. We always kind of seem to cross paths on like the festival circuit. So yeah, I think he's amazing.
Awesome. Gotta love to see the love between musicians.
Right.
No, not all competition.
I don't know what to play. Any of these?
Yeah, anything you want to. Really though, Kevin, it was awesome having you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun, man. We've always appreciated having you in the shop. So thanks for coming and doing this with us, man.
Thank you for having me, and I love this place.
Awesome. We'd love to see you play something, man. Sweet.
All right. My bad. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. Okay. Hey, this is Kevin. Do I have to say anything? Oh.
Whatever you want, man.
No, I'm just gonna play. No sleep, no rest for the wicked. Beat down, pushed around like a misfit. I try my best to resist it. Love sick, but I keep on slipping. Now that I found my place, I found it hard to say all the things we never could. Stoke the fire, fan the flames. I was gonna make it up to you. Then they went and took you far too soon. A little bit of love, little bit of time, get my heart right. A little bit of love, little bit of time, get my heart right. you're always on my mind. Breathe in, breathe out now. Somewhere, somehow now. Where do we go now? From here on out. Never the right time. It's always a far cry. You keep on running in and out my right mind. Now that I found my place, I found it hard to say all the things we never could. Stoke the fire, fan the flames. I was gonna make it up to you. Stand me when it took you far too soon. Little bit of love, little bit of time, get my heart right. Little bit of love, little bit of time, get my heart right. Oh, holding me, babe. Oh, holding me down. And you're always on my mind. You're always on my mind. Fuck off.